As the teams heading to the Super Bowl know, you never go into a game without creating an overall game plan and practicing each play. And the team that prepares the best, they're the ones flashing those big smiles when the clock runs out. While you may never take to the field yourself, Dentist Steve Marsh is here to coach you to that winning smile. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Armin. I have to compliment you. Just as we look for new smiles to brighten things up, I think the wonderful kitchen set looks wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So before you kick off performing any dental do-overs, how do you work out, I'm using all my football terms, how do you work out the best strategy for the best outcome?
Well, you know, Armin, we do something different than most dentists, and I think most dentists should, is we sit down together around a round table so I have a sense of what the patient wants to achieve, just as a coach wants to know what he's got in his lineup. This is a picture of myself with the esteemed Fred Griffith of Channel 3. And when Fred was ready to make the move in New Smile, he sat down with me. We looked at different options. Fred's a very bright guy. I have a lot of engineers who come in, and they want to have a sense of what we can accomplish. And we look at the options just as a football team would do. What's the best way to handle this?
So what kind of calls can you call for a patient? What kind of plays can you call for a patient?
Well, we have a lot of options today in dentistry. We've talked about different materials and techniques. Sometimes we do something simple. Some things we do something more involved. You know, sometimes a patient comes in and they don't want a smile makeover. They've heard about new tooth-colored fillings. This is a before and after on a patient who came to me. By the way, Armin, he was a football coach, incidentally. And it was a matter of just taking out that filling, putting in a beautiful new composite filling, and giving him a nice restoration. You know, in dentistry, a lot of times things are done by emergencies, if you will, and we like to actually develop a plan so that things aren't just isolated incidents. As your previous guest talked about, you don't want to wait till you have an emergency. You really want to be proactive.
So you brought along some, quote, game photos to show us today how the plays work.
And I'll try and go through them very rapidly. Here's somebody who wanted, she was in her sister's wedding, and she came to me about 6 weeks before. We didn't have time. It was like the 2-minute drill, if we can use that football analogy. So what we did with her teeth, you can see the bottoms, we just reshaped them, we whitened them. We did a little bonding on the top, and we also did some gum contouring, Armin, and that's where we use a diode laser to raise the tissue to get a uniformity. So literally 4 to 6 weeks before her sister's wedding, she came in and we did that.
Okay, this one, what's this?
This is pretty dramatic. This is somebody who really wanted a game plan. She had saved up for years. She's actually a golden opportunity viewer, and for years she wanted a smile she could be proud of. A very spiritual woman. And she said, I don't want to do it in parts. When I'm ready to do it, I'd like to do it. And we did whitening and 8 porcelain veneers on the top. And then subsequently, we did some other work. So not everything has to be done by the first half, if you will. And we gave her that beautiful smile.
Okay. Next.
This is somebody, Armin, we might say is in the 3rd to 4th quarter of his life. And he has a girlfriend. He was widowed, and he came into me, and she was really unhappy with his smile. And so she had these old porcelain metal crowns. We ended up doing some implants because he said, I want to feel like I have my own teeth. He had tried partials and dentures, didn't work, and there's his result.
Wow,
when
what
he's
a
done.
change.
What a change. And I have to tell you, she was thrilled to bring him in, and then he was even happier when we completed that with a combination of crowns, veneers, implants, sort of threw the whole game plan at him.
Not bad at all. Okay, let's do this one.
Well, to wrap things up, there's Fred Griffith again. And Fred, for many years, we had been friends. And he said, listen, he knows a lot about health. And he also knows the combination of the mouth and its relationship to your overall health. And you know he's very active. He had neglected it, he said, for years. He took care of everybody else in his family. And so we did some reshaping of his teeth, took out the decay, did porcelain veneers, some whitening, and just some plain restorative work to give him that beautiful smile that he enjoys every day.
Not bad. That's the Fred Griffith we know from television for many, many years.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Steve, for good information.
You're welcome, Armin.
Appreciate it. If you want to score a winning smile, Dentist Steve Marsh can call the plays that will have you crossing into the end zone. To get on his roster, use the information that's coming up next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com.